it up, give it up, give it up. Scout and Kate, are you in the house? Scout and Kate, are you in the house? Can I get our marshals to make sure Scout and Kate are in the house? And neighbors. My name is Kiala Padavati and I am the co-chair of the York Southwestern Tenant Union. We're here on National Housing Day to protest Bill 60. Every single renter in Ontario who has lived in their home for more than a couple of years knows in their gut that their landlord is just dying to kick them out and replace them with a higher paid tenant. And we're here today because Bill 60 is making it easier for them to do just that. Whether it's shortening the time to catch up on rent and getting stricter on even late payments. Who the hell is getting paid on the 1st of every month? I'm not. Or whether it's forcing us to pay half of what our landlords claim that we owe before it's even proven for us to have our fair day in court. Or whether it's reducing our ability to appeal a bad eviction order like the order they sent credit union members over one fucking penny. Or creating a blacklist for tenants who have been evicted to make it impossible for us to find a new home in this city or in this province. It is abundantly clear that Bill 60 is nothing more than a direct pipeline from the LTB to the encampments. And you know, I didn't think the Ford government could get more shameless.
There's no bottom.
But I was wrong. There is no bottom for this government. Because not only are landlords to evict us by eroding our rights as the LTB, this government has the audacity to do it on National Housing Day. And on Monday, this government is going to bypass committee, bypass the democratic process, and force a vote on Bill 60. And we're joined today by several MPPs who are fighting to stop Bill 60 from inside that house. We're joined today by the leader of the official opposition, Martin Stiles. And MPP Alexa Gilmore. We want to pack this house. Because this government was so cowardly they couldn't face the public. They're so shameless they can't face us, but when they're voting on this bill, we want to make them face us, and we want to pack this house because this is our house. Monday, come and see Carmen over here with the clipboard. We can get you on steps, get into that house. You want to pack that house. So whatever happens on Monday, I want you to know
Oh, that's fun.
that there isn't a politician, there isn't a premier, there isn't a landlord, and there isn't a bill that is stronger than we are when we come together. In my tenant union, we know what can happen when we organize. Unfavorable conditions. Even when the cards are all stacked against us. In the York Southwestern Tenant Union and tenant unions all across this province, we know that when we organize, we win. When we organize, we win. When we organize, we win. I want to now introduce Marva Burnett from Acorn to come and join us and say a few words.
Hello, everyone. Hello. My name is Marva Burnett, and I'm the chair of Acorn Scarborough. I see a lot of familiar faces here today. It reminds me of just the other day. When we were here, we saw that the government that he is introducing Bill 16. You know, since that started, Acorn held a meeting. When that was announced, 500 persons showed up to that meeting. In several days, we raised 23,000 signatures to say Dr. Cole thought he was smart, but I want to tell him, we as tenants, we have to watch where every penny goes, so therefore we are smarter. Don't try to sneak in these things in the back door. What you're doing is wrong. We want to sit up phone, get a backbone and stand up to the landlords. Why a landlord taking advantage of all the tenants, and why is that phone indulging them? I want to say, Acorn want to say, we fed up and we're not going to take it. You know, tenants we've been organizing tenants a long time. And we as tenants need to realize the power that we have. There is nothing like power of the people. The people power is power. And when we realize that, and we stand up, and we start fighting back, then politicians don't have no choice but to stand up and pay attention. You know, we are asking for just a few things. We're not asking for a lot compared to what the landlords are asking for. All we're asking for is to close the loopholes in rent control. We want vacancy control. We want them to restore in-person LTB. And we want them to withdraw the eviction measures in Bill 60. That's all we asking. Is that so hard to do? No. It's not criminal, is it? No. It's just basic justice. We as tenants, even if we want to stand there and let Doug Ford face us, that's why he's running, ducking, and hiding as if he's a boxer. We don't know.
He's shadowboxing at this point.
So now we're going to say, our people united. For landlords to get more inspectors just to inspect our units so that we don't have the mollusk infestation, the roach infestation. You know, we're just asking for simple things, but we can't get it. But the landlord could get Bill 60. Well, I want to say, Doug Ford, take Bill 60 and shove it where the sun don't shine. We as tenants, we're not giving giving up. And you know what? There is nothing. When tenants fight, you know what happened? When tenants fight, we win. When tenants fight, we fight back, because you know what? If Bill 60 pass, you know what happens. So we don't have anything to lose. So today and tomorrow, we're gonna stand up and fight back, because we have nothing to lose, and we're gonna stay to that vote.
What's better, when I speak like this? Yes. Or when I speak like this?
The other way. Microphone.
The microphone. We're sticking with the microphone. Our next speaker, Yaroslava Montenegro, the ED of the Federation of Metro Tenants Association. Make some noise and welcome Yaro. On working people across this province. We've seen the implementation of bill after bill, policy after policy that attacks municipalities, school boards, indigenous nations, and yes, tenants. For shame! Poor and working people are bearing the brunt of the affordability crisis that this government profits off of. We can't expect better from this government, which has attacked our rights as tenants from the very beginning. The first thing Ford did when he was elected was to eliminate rent control for buildings built after 2018. And ever since then, the Ford government has been lining the pockets of billionaire developers, his buddies, obliterating our communities in the process. A man of the so-called people, but he's never had to worry about skipping meals to make rent. He's the one with the pen, signing and stripping our rights away.
I was going to say,
Ford is doing a full frontal attack on working people across this province. He is finishing the job that Mike Harris did 30 years ago with the so-called common sense revolution. More than the shock doctrine of austerity. You're right. That neoliberalism, the ideology of pulling yourself up by the bootstraps, is a scourge. And it's coming for us. It's coming for our homes. It's coming for our kids, and it's coming for our futures. We can't let them take it from us. Because while Ford may have backtracked from ending security of tenure for tenants in Ontario for now, we know we cannot trust this government and sit by the sidelines to wait for the province to end rent control. Bill 60 will be voted in next week, introducing insurmountable hurdles for tenants who are already hanging on by a thread. Shame! Exploding population of unhoused people in encampments across this province. This will only fast-track evictions from the most vulnerable, including Indigenous peoples, the elderly, migrant workers, pushing more people onto the streets. Shame! The Association of Ontario Municipalities has said 300,000 people could end up on the streets by 2030 because of this neoliberal austerity agenda that has crushed our public services and affordable public housing options. Shame. If Ford gets his way with Bill 60, he will make sure that these numbers are a reality for this province and then some. Shame. The solution may not be in the halls of the provincial legislature today, but you can be damn sure that it will be found in our organization and our mobilization. I ran into a neighbor who was so torn by how bad Bill 60 is that all she wanted to do was give in the towel. That is a real danger. We cannot be disheartened. We cannot
give up. We have to keep organizing. We need to be organized in every single building, in every single block, every single neighborhood across this city, from the hills to the lake, from the bluffs to the Humber, across this province and across this country. Mark my words. We will build tenant power, the worker power, and the people power we need to stop this legislation in its tracks. Together we are stronger, and together we will win. Thank you.
Y'all from the FMTA. We're going to switch over some of our sound equipment, so I'm going to need you all to help me make some noise.
When I say tenant,
Karen Andros of ACTO, the specialty legal clinic for renters in this province.
I'm a lawyer, a good lawyer. I only work for tenants. All right. Overwhelmingly, most Ontario tenants pay their rent in full and on time. But we are not hearing this from the government or the landlords. It is a profitable business for tenants. Tenants know that for landlords. Landlords know this, tenants know this, and the government knows this. The landlord is so insulated from risk that you pay a last month's rent deposit and you pay on the first of the month before the housing is provided. They have 2 months of your money before you get anything. Yet they whine and complain and we can't evict. I can't help it if under those circumstances they can't make that work. I can't help it if they're stupid. There is an obligation to pay rent, and if rent is missed, eviction happens. We all know this, let me tell you. Now, they're telling us that there's 100,000 applications at the Landlord and Tenant Board. What they're not telling you is that there are 1.7 million tenant households. This is not a problem. This is a minuscule amount of landlord and tenant conflict. It is minuscule. Bill 60 is a slur against Ontario tenants. There are no problems for landlords in this process, but there are going to be problems for tenants because of Bill 60. Used to be, when I had brown hair, that if you were late with your rent, you get a notice after 14 days. Now, no landlord would go bankrupt if you paid on day 13. And it's been 14 days, I don't know, since I was a kid in school. Now, they want to change it to 7. More landlord and tenant cases, more backlogs, more delays, more court work. Tenants won't have the time to get the rent together. And as my colleague said, who gets paid on the 1st? You know, sometimes you get paid on the 3rd. And there's no problem here. The time to challenge orders is cut in half. Same problems. Now, every sensible person in Ontario knows that we have a housing crisis, we have an encampment crisis. Yet this bill proposes to hire more dog the bounty hunters to put people in those encampments. And this is morally reprehensible. Now, where has the Just Society gone? I remember Trudeau, the elder. And that's what he talked about. And what is the truth about what the real problems are? We're having a real problem with proof these days in our political landscape. And we're talking about eviction, the homes of the elderly, the disabled, children. It is unbelievably immoral what they are proposing for a small group of whining, greedy landlords. Needs to be held account for this unfair, unwarranted, and unjust bill. And if you take one thing away from what I say, Doug Ford, 2 4-letter words.
All right, so Karen didn't want to say it, but I think there's a lot lot of people right here. What 4 words did we want to tell Doug Ford? Doug Ford! All right, I would now also like to acknowledge that MPP Mike Schreiner is also here, who has been fighting against Bill 60, also in the House. I'd now like to introduce Laura and Michelle from Don Valley Community Legal Services.
Hi, my name is Michelle, lawyer in Toronto. Sorry. Hi, my name is Michelle Chat, and I'm a housing lawyer also in Toronto, and hopefully one of the good lawyers out there.
I'm Laura Nonan. I'm a community development worker at Don Valley Community Legal Services as well.
So we work at Don Valley Community Legal Services, a community legal clinic in Toronto's East End. Legal clinics are on the front lines helping people in very dire situations. We help vulnerable and low-income community members, many facing eviction. We receive over 1,000 calls on our intake line each month. Over 1/3 of the cases at our legal clinic are housing cases, and this number keeps growing. Bill 60 will impact renters and will make it harder for us to help our clients. We're already at capacity at our legal clinic, and we're extremely concerned about how we will be able to help people facing eviction if this bill is passed. The ramifications of Bill 60 will result in people and families losing their sustainable, safe, and affordable rental units. We would like to share a story about one of our clients who would have lost her home had Bill 60 been in effect. She was a single mother and a survivor of intimate partner violence. She had fallen into arrears and missed her eviction hearing due to ongoing financial and litigation abuse from the person causing harm. She was able to save her tenancy because of the 30-day timeline she had to get legal help and complete her request to review of the eviction order. This gave her much needed time to seek and receive rent assistance and set up a rent payment plan with her social assistance program. This would not have been possible had Bill 60 been in effect, because those valuable 30 days would have been cut in half. And while some may think that reducing timelines will help reduce the backlog at the Landlord and Tenant Board, in actuality, it will reduce people's ability to seek out legal help, and it will destroy people's ability across this province to achieve long-term sustainable housing.
Instead of implementing measures that would actually fix the Landlord and Tenant Board, that would actually help keep renters in their homes and not increase homelessness, this government is fast-tracking evictions through this bill. We need full rent control and vacancy control. We have been asking for this for years. We need to bring back in-person hearings at the Landlord and Tenant Board. We need stronger protections to preserve the affordable housing we currently have, because we cannot build our way out of this. If they actually cared, they would have consulted the legal clinics, they would have talked to tenants. They have made it clear they do not care about renters or our right to housing. We also want to call attention to security of tenure. Although the Ford government said now is not the time, it doesn't mean they won't come after it in the future. We say hands off our right to a safe and secure home. We need to ensure they never come after lease agreements in the future. We need to keep up this fight if this bill is passed on Monday, and we need to keep this momentum going. The Residential Tenancies Act is meant to protect tenants. We can't stay silent while they dismantle it. Thanks for joining us, and let's keep fighting together.
Give it up for our legal clinic system, folks. The COVID pandemic, instead of helping tenants, Doug Ford passed another bill to attack tenants that cut funding to our legal clinics and made it hell of a lot easier to evict people without even a hearing. And yet that still wasn't good enough, and here we are today fighting Bill 60. I'd like to now introduce Lindsay and Megan from No Dem Evictions. Give it up for No Dem Evictions!
evictions. Having dealt with our fair share of corporate landlords, we are all too familiar with the kind of messaging, rhetoric, and language that they use to justify legislation like Bill 60. I'm going to just share a couple of the comments and messages that we've received since becoming public with our opposition to Bill 60. Quote, landlords don't owe anyone subsidized housing. Quote, if you think landlords are evil, don't rent from them and just buy a tent. Yeah, I know. And my personal favorite quote, I myself believe that tenants have way too many rights. These sentiments are from the same people who continue to push the idea that the only solution for fixing the housing crisis is to build more for-profit supply. It is a one-dimensional approach that conveniently supports cutting regulation for developers and landlords and coming after rights and protections for renters. But for corporate landlords and developers, this is not a housing crisis. This is a business model, and it is an incredibly lucrative one. Across Ontario, corporate landlords are buying up older, more affordable buildings. They are evicting long-term tenants. They are jacking up rents, and they are calling it professional management. For them, it is business as usual. Shame. But they shouldn't be praised for altruistically providing housing when what they're really doing is strip mining our communities for quarterly returns. They want to evict tenants in order to grow their investment portfolios. Bill 60 was created by them and for them.
Landlord lobbyists like FERPO, Build, and Solo are all in favor of Bill 60. In fact, they stood side by side with the Minister and Premier as they announced Bill 60. And we know that Bill 60 will be devastating for renters across Ontario. Any tenant who's lived in their building for more than 5 years knows that they have a target behind their back and that the landlords are coming after their units. Every eviction will only force tenants to pay more somewhere else and having less money to spend on food and other basic necessities. Enough is enough. Yes. I know that people here today may be feeling anxious, angry, and frustrated that Bill 60 is likely to pass on Monday. And I encourage everyone here to come out on Monday, because call me old-fashioned, but I think that you should be looked in the eyes by the person who's gonna fuck you. So I know that we're all feeling this sinking feeling that our government truly does not care whether we're housed or not. And those feelings are valid, but they're not the only feelings here today. There's hope, solidarity, and there's growing movement together. Because as tenants, what we're building is actually bigger than Bill 60. It's collective power, a focus on uplifting the many instead of the few. And we will continue to fight and push back against the erosion of our rights by Ford and his lobbyists. We're building our community, and by working together, we will win.
That's right.
Give it up for no dem evictions. Instead of investing in homes that we can afford, this government is promoting demolishing the very few affordable housing that exists in this city, and No Dem Evictions has been doing a fantastic job fighting back and defending our homes. I would now like to invite Ian from 230 Fight Back to come and share a few words on behalf of his group. Give it up for Ian.
Fuck Kingston!
Yes, thank you. It's nice meeting. Closer. Okay. Hi. This is my first rally speech. And I also apologize. It might be a little more abstract than the other folks.
Louder!
Oh. Okay, here we go. My name is Ian and I'm from 230 Fight Back, a grassroots direct action group fighting for the land at 214-230 Sherbourne to be used for community use and social use, not private affluence. For 17 years now, in the midst of a core housing crisis, 230 Sherbourne has sat vacant and fenced in. It has become a speculative scar on the land and a symbol of financialized gentrification. Continued social division in a long attempt to define who belongs and who doesn't in one of Toronto's most disadvantaged neighborhoods. In 2019, the land was identified by the city as holding strategic importance for the development of deeply afforded housing. But the developer KingSet outbid the city in 2022 in a backroom deal worth $53 million. Then in September of 2024, the same city council approved KingSet's rezoning application in less than 60 seconds with no debate. This instantly increased the land's market value and virtually removed all possibility of social housing. 230 Sherbourne is one of many places within Toronto's downtown east to fall victim to the mutual beneficial and collaborative relationships between the city, province, and developers. Relationships which has produced desolation, displacement, and erasure of future for current inhabitants. Their human rights ignored, peripheralized for profit, and removed at the behest of homogenized luxury investment. We can no longer allow the city to provide preferential treatment to developers and private equity as current community members are made invisible. City Council, ATO, and the many agents of city operation must be made to understand the symbolic importance 230 Sherbourne holds for spatial justice.
Yes!
214-230 Sherbourne must be expropriated and given to the community for social use. Now that the condo market has gone bust, developers and landlords don't get to encroach on our rights as the state sits idle. We won't be pushed out. Ontario's Bill 60, in a similar vein, is also an act of defining whose interests and well-being are being served and whose rights will or will not be observed. Not surprisingly, the province has once again worked side by side with elite lobbyists to produce legislation for the best interest of benefactor landlords and developers at the complete negligence and detriment of tenants' rights. Lenin, in a speech, stated, "The state is a machine for maintaining the rule of one class over another." Bill 60 exactly serves this sentiment, as a measure of renewing the subordination of the tenant to the landlord through the fear of eviction, anxiety of uncertainty, reduced tenant access to procedure, and near total removal of public participation in the planning of our collective futures. Now is the time we must remember that those ignored or made quiet by the state reaffirm their citizenship through acts of political protest. Statements of discontent, simple acts of everyday existence, and assistance that we matter through the occupation of space. Capitalism thrives on division, but fears unity and solidarity. We have the numbers to tame and erode the state through acts of solidarity, continued protest, and direct action. Through our voices and collective presence, we can solidify our rights and tell the state that we will be heard. We will not be displaced. We will not be made invisible for the interest of capital. And today's collective opposition to Bill 60 is just the beginning. We will not be pushed out.
From the Disability Justice Network of Ontario. Give it up for the DNGO!
Hello
my name's Brad. I'm with Disability Justice Network of Ontario. Across Ontario, friends, disabled tenants getting accessible rental housing. Well, friends, it's a struggle. Whether it's getting a grab bar for your bathtub, an elevator that actually works for once, or a functioning HVAC system that prevents chemical sensitivity flare-ups, disabled tenants are forced to live in inaccessible, unsafe homes. And that's if we have stable housing at all. Disabled tenants, my friends, they don't know where to turn when their landlord refuses to accommodate our rights, even though they're clearly articulated in the Residential Tenancies Act and under human rights law. Now, why is that, friends? Well, I'll tell you. The wider legal system is overstretched, just battling to keep us in our homes because of evictions and rent increases every single day. And we know that those major resources go into keeping people housed, even if those houses don't meet our needs. But the issues that arise from a lack of accessibility spiral into problems that landlords use against us to evict us as disabled tenants, leaving the disabled tenants locked in a state of fear. And friends, the Ontario government knows this, but instead of doing anything to make housing more accessible and to live up to a dream of a barrier-free Ontario that we were promised 25 years ago, instead of that, we have Bill 60. This bill will only make the lives of disabled tenants more precarious and make requesting accommodations even harder. What will happen when a disabled tenant ends up with arrears and wants to raise issues of accessibility at the Landlord-Tenant Board? Damn right we will! Because that's what they want, friends! What's gonna happen when tenants who just need more time to file at the LTB due to our access needs? What will happen to disabled tenants who just need to access a fucking inaccessible Zoom hearing? We're gonna get evicted, friends! Already, disabled tenants have to weigh options every time we leave our house. We have to wonder, will I be able to get to my medical appointment if the elevator in my building goes down? As people are trapped in their homes for weeks at a time, from Toronto to Sudbury, just for that. Disabled tenants, overwhelmed with pain from chemical sensitivities, have to ask, when will I be able to stop my landlord from using cleaners that set me back every single day? And mobility device users have to ask a simple question: can I actually visit my friends and family without compromising my health and safety? Because the building code only requires that 15% of houses are even visitable, not accessible. So friends, from these structural failures in housing, can we truly say that disabled tenants now have accessible and safe homes? Friends, we know what the outcome of this bill is going to be. More and more disabled Ontarians forced out of housing. More and more housing that doesn't meet our needs. And more criminalization of our communities, whether we're in our homes or forced to be unhoused. But friends, whether this bill passes on Monday or next week or whenever, we know where the power lies. It lies here with us! We'll never board! You say we will win! Fuck Ford!
Thank you, Brad! You don't give a shit, I'm Brad! Thank you! Our next speaker, very near and dear to my heart, is Sala. Sala's from the Toronto Underhoused and Homeless Union, and such an important voice.
Thank you. It's hard to follow that, my brother. Okay. My name is Saleh. I'm part of the Underhoused Homeless Union.
Yeah, louder, there you go.
Thank you. If Bill 6 passed, it will quite frankly kill us, you know, as homeless people and disabled people. Yeah, okay. When eviction rates goes up, while shelters are already filled, families are pushed straight into homelessness. That means more people living in campings, not because they choose it, but they had nowhere else to go. We're watching policies that create homelessness, then punish people for surviving. Yeah. The 50 street needs assessment shows that in 3 years, Toronto homeless population has more than doubled. Those are families, seniors, and workers who cannot afford new rent rates. Shelters are already turning away thousands every month, while evictions, rent hikes, and re-evictions continue to push people out of their homes. Researchers across Canada are clear. Evictions are one of the leading causes of homelessness. The Rootbrian province wants fewer incomes and fewer people freezing to death and sideways. Then stop creating homelessness. Because this is how it's happening. That means real eviction prevention, rent control, income that match the cost of living, and treating housing as a human right. We need more policy that helps tenants. We need solutions and dignity. If my rent went beyond what I can afford, I'm one rent away from being evicted, and that will take me back to the street, and I don't want to do that, and I hope my landlords are hearing this. Right? Someone who fell on a hard time once could punish forever. That's how people get trapped in homelessness, not because they're failed, but the system refused to let them rise up again. That's why in Tuho, we are here today, because this fight is personal for everyone who is homeless and also who is housed, but one rent away from being evicted. Thank you. Under the legislation, Bill 6, the tenants could soon have their rent evictions history made fully transparent, and any landlord could permanently black mark. That means more eviction and discrimination. Thank you.
My name is Diana Chan-McNally, and I am the organizer of the Encampment Justice Coalition. We are 144 organizations across Ontario who want to end encampments by providing housing for all. And do you know what we call Bill 60? What? We call it the Create Encampments Faster Act. That is what it is, and that is what it's going to do. Force Ontarians, force people like you out onto the street through no fault of your own. Also, that landlords can make what? $200, $300, $500 more a month? more than we can afford, far more than we can afford, but that is how little our lives are worth to them. That's how little our lives are worth to Premier Ford and the landlords who lobby to take away our rights through Bill 60. Friends, I have worked with people living in a campus for 11 years. I have seen how disabling it can be. Brain injuries, chronic infections, fingers and toes lost to frostbite. Try to hold a spoon. Try to write your own name when you are missing half of your fingers. I know what a short and brutal life it is for people. In the city of Toronto, did you know that the average age of death for a homeless man is 54 years old? Shame! Do you know what it is for a homeless woman? 36. This is why we can't be neutral on any legislation that makes it easier for people to become homeless, because homelessness is already an early death sentence for thousands of people across this province. There are millions of renters across Ontario. All of you people out here, half of Toronto are renters. Cities like Oshawa, Ottawa, St. Catharines, they are all 1/3 renters, and I am a renter. We are a legion! All of us, we are a legion! We are hardworking, we are deserving, but the government has decided that what? We don't matter? That we're the bad actors? We're professional tenants? No. It's the landlords who own the property. They are the property owners who own the assets. We don't own shit. And they're the victims? No. No. Bill 60 is all to facilitate their greed. With our lives, our livelihoods as the collateral damage. People already cannot afford the goddamn rent. Millions of Ontarians are already at food banks because they do not have enough money left at the end of the month after they have paid their rent. What happens when you can't afford food? What comes next? You can't afford your rent. And then what happens? You are out on the streets. Bill 60 is a recipe for mass hunger. It is a recipe for mass homelessness. Even more than we currently have. And there were 81,000 people who were homeless last year in Ontario. Shame! And when people across Ontario, whether they're in Kenora, Toronto, Windsor, wherever they are, when they wonder, why are there so many more encampments in my park? What actually caused this? I'm gonna tell them all to remember Bill 60. But you know what I'm gonna say to Premier Ford? You may try to take away our homes, but this building here, this is our house! This is our house! This is our house! And we are coming to collect the rent from you! From Parkdale Housing Justice Network, Parkdale represents.
Everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Our name Fatin Ishraq. My name is Fatin Ishraq. And how are we all doing today? Are we going to defeat Bill 60? I believe that we will defeat it. But even after Bill 60 is defeated, tenants in this province will still face massive challenges in finding affordable housing, avoiding evictions, and making their landlords do necessary repairs. This bill is a nightmare, but the status quo isn't acceptable either. We need to push back against the landlord lobby and the corrupt government to win real protection for tenants. One of the strongest tools in our arsenal is the rent strike. There is immense power in withholding your rent. When one tenant can't afford to pay rent, that tenant is in trouble. But when dozens or hundreds or thousands of tenants refuse to pay their rent, their landlords are in trouble. A rent strike reveals the real power relation between landlords and tenants. They need us much more than we need them. Without our rent checks, their precious rental properties become worthless. Parkdale has had a long history of successful rent strikes. In 2018, a group of tenants in 10 buildings managed by Metcap withheld their rent to protest above guideline rent increases. And after just 3 months, they won major concessions. During the pandemic, dozens of tenants across Parkdale withheld their rent for over a year to pressure their landlords into rent forgiveness for our neighbors who couldn't afford to pay. We have seen rent strike tactics work all across the city, from Chinatown to Lawrence Avenue to East Scarborough. When tenants stand up for themselves as a group, landlords back down. Rent increases get dropped. Long neglected units get repaired. Disabled tenants get support. Landlords think twice before sending eviction notices. And I have gotten 2 eviction notices that I have been taken to the Landlord-Tenant Board for. Bill 60 has clearly shown us that the system isn't built for tenants. It never was. We are not going to get the rights we need and deserve by lobbying the housing minister the way Tony Irvin does. If we're going to win real protection for tenants in this province, we're going to have to work outside the system by putting pressure on the people who are behind laws like this, the big corporate landlords. If they don't listen to us today, maybe they'll listen to us if the rent payments suddenly stop. I invite all of you to come to Parkdale, have momos with us, and keep the fight going.
I would now like to invite NORAD from the Harm Reduction Advocacy Collective. NORAD.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Norad Bouzaid. I'm a member of the Harm Reduction Advocacy Collective. Thank you for being here on such a cold day. How many of you think that you could survive living outdoors in this temperature? As somebody who was formerly unhoused on and off since my teenage years, I can tell you I have survived many winters outside, and it is a condition none of us deserve to live through. The Harm Reduction Advocacy Collective is an organization formed to protect and expand harm reduction and to address the toxic drug death crisis, which has taken the lives of over 52,000 people across this country. 9 people are dying a day in this province, and the province is dismantling what left we had to address it. Shame! Bill 60, which we have all gathered here to fight against today, may seem outrageous, but marginalized communities have been facing these kinds of discriminatory bills throughout all of modern history. From indigenous peoples fighting for clean drinking water on stolen land, to the survivors of generational trauma caused by the transatlantic slave trade. From immigrant families who are struggling to lay their roots while under attack from the far right. To people born into the ever-growing number of families who sit below the poverty line. From rejected trans and queer youth disowned from their families. To foster children who age out of the system. From people living with disabilities, both mental and physical. to any family struck by sudden tragedy where one or more providers are suddenly unable to provide. Shame! All of these communities are grossly overrepresented among both the unhoused population and among people who use drugs. A benchmark of a functioning society is how it treats its most vulnerable. And in that, the Ford government has not only failed, it has been on the offensive. Shame! This past year, we have seen bill after bill get introduced and passed with no democratic process, consultation, or discussion. This includes Bill 223, Bill 6, and Bill 10, which have all been nothing short of direct attacks on people who use drugs, both housed and unhoused. Shame! As we are seeing in education and healthcare, the Ford government continues to starve public services to further their own agenda. The number of supervised consumption sites in Ontario has been reduced by nearly half, with many municipalities across the province losing their sole access point to life-saving, private, and sanctioned services. Rather than open new sites for the people who use these services, the Ford government followed them up with a pair of bills to further criminalize people who use drugs, which for many is a coping mechanism to endure the experiencing of existing as the most marginalized people in a system built to further marginalize. While Bill 6 has granted police the authorization to profile and terrorize the unhoused community, Bill 10 ensures that people who use drugs and live indoors must now live in a state of dread, wondering when their landlords may exercise their appointed duty to surveil and evict. I imagine this is the same kind of fear that has gathered all of you here today. It is no coincidence that today, on the National Day of Housing, Ford is in the process of undemocratically pushing forward Bill 60, stripping renters of their tenant rights in a housing affordability crisis. And on the same day, the 5th overdose prevention site has been forced to shut down services in Toronto this year. During a toxic drug poisoning and overdose crisis, Parkdale, a working-class roots and majority renter neighborhood, is under an assault of gentrification. With dozens of private condo development projects in the works, Ford and his cronies want to make it easier with this bill to remove the red tape to these developments to line their pockets. They are treating housing as a commodity and not a right. And they want us renters with our tenant rights, homeless folks on the streets in their encampments, and drug users just trying to survive out of their way. They want to get rid of us because we are a threat to their profits. As public services continue to be starved of operational funding, including the recent closure of the Parkdale SES, which met all criteria laid out by the Ford government to operate, we are seeing police forces across the province requesting increases to their budget in double-digit percentages. As the general public's own housing becomes more and more precarious, I urge you to stand in solidarity with the most vulnerable in our communities who have witnessed and experienced this trauma daily. Harm reduction is a life-saving essential service that is directly correlated to the housing crisis our province is experiencing. We are here to let the Ford government know we want all of our essential services properly funded with our own tax dollars. And that includes affordable and secure housing. Affordable, secure housing is harm reduction, which saves lives. Tenant rights under attack. What do we do?
Give it up for the Harm Reduction Advocacy Collective! Now I want you to put your hands together for Jared On from the Workers' Action Center!
Hey everybody, how's everyone doing? I'm really cold. How many of you here has had a bad landlord? How many of you here had a bad boss that treated you like crap? So my name is Jared, and I'm from the Workers' Action Center, and we are here today to fight back against Bill 60. All of us here are facing the same cost of living crisis. No matter how hard we try, too many of us find it too difficult to afford to put food at our tables for ourselves and our family. Why is that? Greedy people. Because bad corporate landlords keep raising our rents, and bad bosses keep stealing our wages. In the last 10 years, $200 million was stolen from workers' pockets. What did the Ministry of Labor do? Nothing! $80 million remain unrecovered. This is shameful. Why are there so many landlords illegally raising our rents and evicting us from our homes? Why are there so many bad bosses that refuse to pay our wages and fire us when we stand up for our rights? Do you think this is an accident? No. Do you think this is just the way things are? No. The same tools that landlords and employers use against tenants and workers are intentional policy choices made by Doug Ford and the Ontario government. Bill 60 is yet another attack on our rights, and it will not be the last. So what do we do? This is the laws that fix the laws and protects workers and tenants who stand up and fight back against bad bosses and bad landlords. This won't happen unless all of us fight together. That is why we are here at the Workers' Action Center fighting back against Bill 60. And that is why I would like to invite you to a rally next Saturday. It'll be even colder. Just down the street there at the Ministry of Labor at 1 p.m. 400 University Avenue. We will be joined next Saturday with workers owed hundreds and thousands of dollars waiting for the ministry to do something. And if the ministry doesn't do something, what do we do? Stand up! So I believe that if we stand together, bad bosses, bad landlords, and bad politicians do not stand a chance. This Saturday, next Saturday, and every day after. Thank you so much.
Give it up for the Workers' Action Center! When our landlords, when our bosses steal our wages and overcharge us for our rent, we gotta stand together, we gotta fight back. So I hope to see everyone here at 400 University to fight back against wage theft and tell the Ministry of Labor to do their job. Next, I'd like to invite Michael Longfield from Cycle Toronto. They brought a whole cycling group here to join us in solidarity against Bill 60.
My name is Michael Longfield, and I'm the Executive Director of Cycle Toronto. Cycle Toronto is a non-partisan, member-supported charity that's been working to make Toronto a more vibrant and healthier cycling city since 2008. Most recently, Cycle Toronto was the main applicant in a legal challenge against Bill 212 and the province's attempts to rip out 19 kilometers of bike lanes in Toronto. In July, the Ontario Court ruled those provisions were unconstitutional in a violation of people's Section 7 Charter rights. In other words, we won. The judge was scathing in the province's lack of evidence. Sound familiar? Noting that even their own experts agree that removing bike lanes would not solve traffic congestion and would put people's lives at risk. Cycle Toronto will be back in court defending our victory against the province's appeal on July 28th. Now, you might be wondering, that's all well and good, but what is Cycle Toronto doing here today? Isn't Bill 60 about making housing more insecure and weakening tenants' rights? Well, from Cycle Toronto's perspective, making rental housing even more insecure would directly impact people's choices to where to live, to have more transportation options, including having access to bike lanes. Yes. But also, buried deep in Bill 60 are additional provisions that would escalate and expand Bill 212's attack on evidence-based decision-making and further handcuff municipalities for making meaningful decisions about their roads. Simply put, Bill 60 would full-out ban building new bike lanes if they would impact the car lane. Full stop. And the wording is so vague it can be used to include bus priority lanes, street-side patios and cafes, or street festivals, all at the minister's whim. So this is just a long way of saying, Cycle Toronto members, supporters, people who ride bikes, we're all really proud to be fighting with you here today and beyond. We know this won't be quick, we know it won't be easy, but together we'll win this attack on our collective rights and build healthier communities for folks to live, work, and play. We won't let them divide us. So cycling advocates, let's do a quick cheer. Bike lanes, save lives. Bike lanes, save...
Give it up for Cycle Toronto! Michael is absolutely right. Bill 60 is an omnibus bill. That means all kind of bullshit is in this bill. This bill will fast-track evictions against hard-working and honest tenants. This bill will privatize water. And this bill will attack cyclists just looking for a safe way to get from point A and point B. So I want everybody here together. We've finished our speakers list, but I'd like to make sure that Doug Ford can hear us, whether he's in his cottage or whether he's in his fancy home in North Etobicoke. I want to make sure that he can hear us. So when I say tenants, you say power. Tenant! Let us remember that there isn't a bill, there isn't a premier, there isn't a landlord stronger than the people when we come together. And on Monday, when Doug Ford forces this bill through the legislature, bypassing committee, bypassing consultations, bypassing the democratic process, we want to pack this house. So if you will join us on Monday, make sure you talk to myself or Carmen with a clipboard to get you on that list to join us in the gallery and pack this house, because this is our house. This is at our house, Monday at 10:30. Monday at 10:30. Carmen is right here beside me with the clipboard to get your name so we can coordinate, but we will be here Monday 10:30 to fill the house. Thank you to every single person who has come out today, and thank you to our organizational organizers who include the York Southwestern Tenant Union, Acorn, No Dumb Evictions, the FMTA, Climate Justice Toronto, ACTO, Don Valley Community Legal Services, Democratic Socialists of Canada, the Disability Justice Network of Ontario, this coalition and off the defensive.